Saludos a todos, hoy estamos desde el Centro de Convenciones de Puerto Rico. Vamos a estar hablando con una conferencia de Airbnb en la que vamos a tener un grupo del que le vamos a hablar de cómo convertirse en un buen host, cuáles prácticas nos han ayudado a nosotros y le pueden ayudar a ellos. Esto es una convención gigante que hay aquí de LULAC de una semana completa, así que estamos bien contentos de que nos hayan invitado y todo ese contenido se lo vamos a dar a ustedes para que también sigan aprendiendo en cómo convertirse en un mejor anfitrión. So hosting is really good because it's almost like traveling without traveling. You get to meet people from different countries. We have people from South Africa, we have people from South America, Europe, you name it. So you get to make those connections. It tends to be where travelers want to make some kind of connection, learn something about you, about your space, about the area, and being able to share, what's special about your community. It really makes a difference for those guests. And also we've had, personally had the honor to meet people like anybody's a baseball fan, like Javi Raices, boxers like Miguel Cotto, which is my idol. So, I was kind of like melting there when he stayed at my place. But those kind of experiences, I would have been able to get those experiences unless I travel or anything like that. So having it at the steps of my door is great.
Your place, your listing.
Yes. So I think we started right before the pandemic, and one thing that separated us is our place. The number one compliment we get is cleanliness. Absolutely. And for any host, for any of you guys who are thinking about hosting or already hosting, just pay attention to that. That's going to be your bread and butter. That's really what's going to make you outstanding as a host. But they always return because of that. One of them you may recognize is Alex Cora, which is the manager for the Bucks and Red Sox. He's visited us about 3 times now, and we have other customers that just keep coming back. They enjoy the quiet, they enjoy the place, and we love having them. All right, so the first one is, obviously you need to get the space ready, right? But after we have done that, the first thing I'll say is verify your listing. Make sure your description is very accurate, because setting expectations right from the beginning will just enhance the experience for everybody. The last thing you want is somebody traveling 12, 14 hours to get here to then finding something that is not what they were looking for. So that's going to be really critical. Again, I'll have to reinforce in cleanliness. Definitely is one of those main areas, and just the relationship and the communication with the guests. So being present, trying to get quick responses to them, and just being a little bit flexible. Some guests are going to need a little bit more than others in terms of your help. So just be flexible with that and provide a good experience. I live in Juan Diaz, like I said, so it takes me about an hour and 20, hour and 15 to get here. So as I wake up this morning, notice the power went out. And we do have a generator that's supposed to kick in automatically. Something was telling me, like, go check it. I don't think it came on. So I go up to the house, check the generator, and in fact, they had a broken hose and it was not running. And we have guests on the house. So it's 5:45 in the morning, and I just, I was an engineer, so I can figure this out. So I rolled my sleeves, change the hose, replace it, find the pump for the fuel line, bled the line, make sure it was primed, and it kicked on. But one of those things that as a host, one thing to mention is this is not passive income when you get into Airbnb. There's some work behind it. You have to be present, you have to be mindful that things are gonna happen, and sometimes you just gotta be ready to react, even if it's 5:45 in the morning. In general, professional pictures, great pictures, are great just for your business, so you can get those eyes into your listing. Once you have this guest and you want to make this process smooth, making sure the check-in process is very clear. One thing Airbnb does is provide a space in the platform where you can list step by step how that's going to occur, and you can provide pictures. So in case that you have, like, let's say a lockbox, you can tell them exactly where it's located, what the code is going to be, and all the step by step can be put in the platform in Airbnb so they can have it accessible. The other thing will be to be present in terms of just being able to respond if something comes up. If you're not there, just have some local contact, right? Make your neighbors your best allies. That's been our case. One quick story I'll share. During the pandemic, everybody was hit economically pretty bad, and we were lucky enough that we were getting people into our space, because everybody's trying to get away from all the crowd. So they see this house that is isolated, so they wanted to come and we have neighbors that are farmers, local farmers, so we will buy from them like a box of mangoes, pineapple, honey, right? And that way we were able to support them even if it was in a small way. We had the local restaurants that started doing delivery more because they couldn't have people in their spaces. So we added them as a recommendation to our place, and they were able to deliver and just capture a new crowd. So, so those things involving your community, involving your neighbors, making sure somebody's present if something comes up, that goes a long way. And like always, communications and expectations, that's always the number one, I think. Yeah, so this is some of the ones that I use, but what I do recommend is get to know your audience who's visiting. Is it going to be people who will be there 2 days for work and they'll be quick in and out of your place? So probably a coffee maker will be important, right? Just having basic necessities, obviously like towel, soap, shampoo, things like that. But in addition to that, we know we're far away from the airport and people sometimes getting late. So having like a small basket with snacks, water, and things like that. So when they get in, they can snack something before they go out to find a restaurant. One important one that we've learned is hair dryer.
Why is that important?
Yeah. Hair dryer, important. Even if we have 2 bathrooms and we have 1 in each bathroom, because the last thing you want is having 2 ladies in the house fighting for 1 blower. It's not gonna go well.
And ears.
Yes, but yeah. And then the one thing we added recently that has been a hit for us is we noticed that we have a double car garage and one of them wasn't being used. So we put like a treadmill there and some workout equipment that has been very popular. The Airbnb platform has a tool where it will tell you what is around your area that is similar to yours and give you a suggested price. You can also do it manually, where let's say if you're in, some area of Miami, you can choose a radius and then find, if you have a 2-bedroom, what does a 2-bedroom is going for around my area. And you can see the number of reviews. That will give you a sense of how many people are going through there. So that will give you demand. And just look at their calendar, are they booked, are they not booked, right? That will give you a little bit of demand too. And then the prices, and compare your amenities. And then the market will also speak to you. As you start hosting more and more, you'll see what your price range should be for the kind of guest that's looking for your house. What we do have is it's called the Ambassador program, which is pretty much the platform will give you an option to ask a super host. So these are hosts that are very experienced. They're kind of like the top-notch hosts of the platform, and we'll connect you to one, and you'll have direct communication, and it can get to the point where you can give them access to look at your listing and maybe help you modify some things to give you those tips as to how to improve your listing. Yeah, and to Maria's point, their help center is really good. There's a lot of information there, so you can extract a lot from there, but there's other tools available if you need to go further. Well, so tax, at least for here for Puerto Rico, you're not getting, for example, this house, it was my primary home before I made it an Airbnb, so I lost my tax benefit. But of course, when you look at the ROI and what you're doing, you have some opportunities there. But in general, it's just like any business. You're gonna have expenses related to maintenance, to cleanliness, power, and anything in between. And you're gonna have your nightly rate that you're charging. And there's platforms out there that have a lot of data already on Airbnbs in different cities, and you can access that data and it will tell you what the normal rate, the occupancy rate are for different cities and different areas, and you can use all that to do your projections. Bueno, ya terminamos con la actividad de Airbnb aquí en el Centro de Convenciones. Fue una actividad tremenda, muchas preguntas, mucha información de valor. Hubo una audiencia muy buena, hicimos un poquito inglés y español, pero como quiera vamos a estar compartiendo el contenido, así que pendiente a las redes sociales y pendiente a nuestro canal de YouTube. Y como siempre, si tienes preguntas de Airbnb, de Raices en general, nos consigues en Instagram como Jan Realtor PR y en YouTube como Bienes Raíces con Jan. Hasta la próxima.